Good day, everyone. So, welcome to your first asynchronous class for election law. Now, for this asynchronous class, we will be talking about um, four topics. So, what are the four topics? First is remedies that are available in with regard to election law. So that's first. Actually, um, you already know some of the remedies. So we will just rehash a little bit, just a quick review, and try to compare it to other remedies under election law. So again, that's first remedies in election law. Second is, but the rest of the topics, these are just good to know things. When I say good to know things, it's good to it's good to know about it, but um, for bar purposes, again, this usually do not come out no sa bar. Kanyang di kay siya mga ano ba, kung ano ba, di siya frequently asked when you try to see the statistics kung unsa ang gawas sa election law nga um, for bar examinations. So the second topic would be the Board of Election inspectors and watchers. Next is the final testing and sealing. And the last one is Board of Canvassers. So most likely, um, the last three topics are more of who are the um people working during the election. So muna sila ang mga tao nga kanang mao gyud nagman sa election in the precincts. So, okay. I'm not quite sure how will this recording go if I can do whole straight no nga discussion of the four topics that let me just see it, but it could be that maputol-putol siya tan-awon lang ni siya kung unsay dagan, but nevertheless the four topics will be discussed in this recording. Okay, so without any further ado, we will now start uh, the topic remedies under election law. So, in our previous discussions, in the discussions that we had earlier in this course, we were confronted with this remedy of petition to deny due course or to cancel certificate of candidacy, because one of the few topics that we had was about your COC, filing COCs. So, in petition to the murag ang mahog nga shortcut anino nga remedy is petition to deny. Sorry, there's something in my eyes. Okay. So, mahog nga kaning si petition to deny due course ang sort of shortcut si petition to deny due course di na naiingon ang to cancel certificate blah blah blah. So, there are main grounds why you will opt a petition to deny due course or to cancel certificate of candidacy. And you already know that one of which is that if there is a false representation as to material information. So that's section 78 of your omnibus election code. So the ground should be a false material representation. So when this is the ground, the pit it the COMELEC upon proper petition by interested parties, they can cancel the COC on such ground. So take note again, if this is the ground that is based by the party, dapat again material information. It is very specific that it is the false representation should be material. Okay, for example, in the case of kaning kaning, let's say lang ha, ning fashion sa yung COC. Unya, ang iyang giingon is female siya, but actually, ano siya, born male. And wala gid siya wala siya any scientifical um scenario nga murag ma-consider siya as a female. So, that gender is not a material representation, right? Maybe it may be a material representation to some other point of view, but when it comes to sa election laws, it is not a material representation. So, um, because it is not a material representation, the false representation of that candidate cannot be grounded upon Section 78 of your Omnibus Election Code. Again, ang material representation dapat mo affect sa substantive rights of the candidate. It could be whether or not what are the substantive rights, or what are the information that are substantive or material. So it could be their um, whether or not they are a registered voter of that area, because again, you cannot file a candidacy in that jurisdiction if you are not a voter in the first place. So if whether or not you're a registered voter, the age requirement of that certain position, di ba na may mga limitations, um, citizenship, of course, citizenship, and lastly, the residency. Most likely, ang residency, um, citizenship also. They are the most kanang murag bugbog sarado na nga um, kanang known to be a material information in the COC. Okay? So, that's the first thing to note about a petition to deny due course or cancel COC. That that the information that is being falsely represented by a candidate is immaterial. If it is not, then it should not be it should not be kanang under the ground of 78. I mean 78 of the Omnibus Election Code. Now, take note also that in some jurisprudence, although it is by law, it is already enough no nga material the false representation by the candidate is a material that is already sufficient enough to ground your petition under Section 78 of your Omnibus Election Code. But some jurisprudence, there um, another another element for the petition to salar is that the representation the representation must be with intent, or gihimo jud deliberately by by the candidate to mislead, misinform the public about his or her um, qualification or eligibility as a candidate. Okay, of course, mingon ka nga, oh, I am a resident. I am very qualified enough to be your mayor. Or nga na. Okay, so that's basically your petition to deny due course, first on the ground of um, material represent false material representation. Okay. So when should this petition be filed? The petition may be filed at any time, not later than 25 days from the filing of the COC. So take note, upon filing of the COC, dapat naradyo kay 25 days time frame to file the appropriate petition to deny the due course, or to cancel or deny the due course of that COC. So if the 25-day period has already prescribed, then you cannot already avail petition to deny due course under Section 78, kaning say material representation. false material representation. So you will know later on that there could be other remedy na imuhang i-venture or dili jud ingon ba nga hala wala ta naka-file o kaning petition to deny due course kaning sa iyang COC. Wa na gyud murag kanang ibutang tawag kusog kusog unta mo murag mo na lang chance ba nga ma disqualify ma ma sa ay kanang wala kay kontra murag salar ang iyahang kanang dili di siya effectively mahimong candidate mo na lang na kanang strategy tahay. So napay just in case mudaog to siya so napay other remedies that you will learn later on. So again, there's a 25-day time frame period from the filing of the COC to file the petition to deny due course under Section 78 of your Omnibus Election Code. And then after due notice and hearing, not later than 15 days before the election, so the COMELEC shall decide the petition. Okay. Now, what is the jurisdiction? Unsa man ni COMELEC, Baday, and Bank? When we say COMELEC and Bank, you already know that COMELEC can sit in divisions, and it's a collegiate body. So kaning sa petition to deny due course under Section 78, the jurisdiction over it lies with the COMELEC in COMELEC division first. So the first instance nga i-file siya sa division una, dili sa NBank. So para if naay kaning na decision si COMELEC division mo MR unya pa kaman an sa NBank. Okay? So that is more or less um again the material misrepresentation should be rooted or shall refer to the substantive right or eligibility of the candidate. So more or less, kadtong mga maka-affect sa whether or not makapasar ba siya sa criteria of judging kaning bitaw criteria of becoming a candidate for mayor, for vice mayor, for kana unsa na nga elective position. Okay? So, di ba, as mentioned kaganina, that although kaning mahog nga two elements for this petition, ang material misrepresentation and a false material misrepresentation and the deliberate intent to mislead the public. What if, sa iyang pagtuo, 1 year na gyud iyang residency? Or more than 1 year iyang residency, let's say in the case of local officials. Nagtuo gyud siya no nga 1 year iyang residency kay kanang sa iyang kwinta-kwinta sa iyang kagalingon 1 year na. However, matan man di ba kasagarang mga kontra matan man gyud na matan pas pinya. So pag kwinta-kwinta sa kaning kalaban so sa other party dili gyud mo abot og 1 year. Maybe naay na kaning na misinterpret sa candidate um why he or she thought that 1 year na ang iyahang um 1 year na ang iyahang uh residency. So what if there is a petition and he or she will in his defense will say wala man ko kabalo. I am in good faith of not knowing that I did not I did not um I did not kaning possess the 1 year residency required or that um good faith na nako gihimo nga good faith man na ako gihimo nga statement. I had no intention to mislead the public. I just based it in um my own interpretation of law. So, would it be a defense? Okay ra ba na nga good faith? It is based on jurisprudence in the case of katuni kaning Senator Po, Grace Po. Good faith is actually not a defense. Kanang bali again, balik gyapon ka sa mga principles sa law no nga kanang or kanang sanay, ignorance of the law does not excuses someone. Okay, so mo na siya nga kaning again good faith is not not a defense. So here again one of the ground for a petition to deny due course or cancel a certificate of candidacy is the false material representation. Now, there is another ground that could deny due course or cancel the COC of a candidate. Mao ni ang kaning kasagaran pod katsikat pod ni siya no kanang petition under Section 69 of your Omnibus Election Code. Mas more or less you will mas familiar if kaning petition to deny due course because the candidate is considered or ang petitioner ganahan nga ipahimong nuisance candidate ang isa ka candidate. So, take note that petition under Section 69 of your Omnibus Election Code does not mean nga dapat na ay party kasagaran although kasagaran mga ingon ani na magyoy party nga mo petition nga nuisance candidate siya. Pero COMELEC actually on its own motu proprio can cancel or deny the due course of of the COC of a nuisance candidate. Kaning if it sees that the candidate will just put the election proceedings in mockery or disrepute. So, of course, there are some factors nga ano no, maybe if you're kaning sani there it would show to them or even sa katong mga parties ang grounds sa nuisance candidate kanang i-show mockery ang maybe kanang murag dahog nga there is most likely if they will be considered as candidate they will just they will mock the election proceedings or cause disrepute to it. One factor that kanang should be considered is if they have really the bona fide intention to really run. Kaya na uban nga mag-file lang, di ba? Na mga hungihong or kanang mga storya-storya nga gipa-file na siya kay same silang apelyido para maglibog ang mga katawhan nga abig na nabutaran si blank si candidate A pero si candidate B which murag nuisance may mabutaran kay same na sa apelyido nga nalinga ra ang mga tao sa ingon ana. What else, kanang murag mahog jud nga kanang di gid makita sa either interested party murag that's when you kaning mayon ani nga mga factors pwede na siya i-allege ra na siya para murag high proof ba pa to solidify your cause nga nuisance candidate gyud ang isa. Okay, so that those are the two grounds for petition to deny due course or to cancel the COC. Again, first, Section 78, false material representation. Section 69, katong nuisance candidate. Now, next, So we're already done with the first remedy. The next remedy under election law is petition for disqualification. So what is the ground to disqualify a candidate? So, okay. So, um, any candidate who, in an action or protest in which she is a party, is declared by final decision of the competent court, so, isa ng competent court, or found by the commission to be suffering from any disqualification provided by law or the Constitution, may be disqualified. So, unsa maning mga disqualification. It is anchored in Section 12 and Section 68 of the Omnibus Election Code and Section 40 of the Local Government Code, which contains the grounds for disqualification. So, ang kani katubitan ning um kanang mga was kaning murag walay nahuman na niya observe if ever na magani siya sentence, nahuman na niya observe ang sentence after 5 years, mo pa'y pagpal niya COC, wala siya kanang mga any other infraction sa law, ingon ana. Okay? So, who may file the petition to for disqualification? Aside from that, ay napay kaning election offenses, of course. Okay. So who may file? It could be any registered voter or political party or organization um, who may file a petition to disqualify a candidate. And when naba ni siya ay naba ni siya ay period by which the interested parties may file, it will the petition to the petition for disqualification should be filed any day after the last day for filing of COC, but not later than the date of proclamation. So, mas taas siya ang time frame compared to your petition to deny due course. Kay petition to deny due course, 25 days raman, di ba? Um, the 25 days actually only applies to Section 78, ang katong false material representation, ha? Mura na ang sa katong 25 um ang gi-look into sa 25 days. So kaning for the six under 69 dili siya covered sa 25 days period. Now again when no ang sa kaning petition to disqualify mas taas-taas siya kung period. So a prior court judgment is not required before the remedy under Section 68 of the Omnibus Election Code can prosper. So, di ba naman ito yung katong competent court, it could be again the commission or the COMELEC ang na-decision para ma-disqualify sila. Okay. Now, those are the two main petitions under election law. You already know the grounds sa kalahian o unsa ang dapat nimong i-avail, ang deny due course ba or disqualification. So, you just take note of the term no nga unsa siya nga petition kay kasagaran mingon ra nga petition to disqualify kay di ba sort of ang effect sa murag in layman ang effect sa deny due course is wala na ang candidate na disqualify na siya di na siya appeal sa sa kaning election. So mo na siya kanang dapat um you have to be kaning specific with the term that you need to use. So the if we will compare it, si petition to deny due course, the effect is there is no candidate to speak of. Si disqualification na ay valid iyang certificate of candidacy, pero again naa siya yung mga infraction. Mao nang, di ba, nakadiscuss ta na nga na pwede na substitution pwede mahitabo if disqualified, di ba katong disqualified, namatay ang candidate, di ba naman to yung mga substitution. So in those cases pwede ang substitution, but if there is no candidate in the first place, there's no valid certificate of candidacy in the first place because it is denied due course or canceled, then there is no substitution allowed. Okay? So, for example, kay di ba dugay man to ang basig dugay madesisyonan ang petition to deny due course or petition to for disqualification, and then naa ng election nahuman na og butar ang mga tao. What is the effect if ang winning party maoy aggrieved sa petition? So, for example, si number one of the mayorship is that siya ang subject sa petition to deny due course. What will happen? Will it be the second placer or walay elected na mayor, si vice mayor ang mo ano? So, what is the effect? Since the candidates, since kato siya nga mayor is not a valid candidate in the first place, so mahimong stray votes to ang iya ang mga ningbutar niya. Kay di man siya in the eyes of the law, he is not considered as a candidate. So the second highest number of votes will assume the office. So siya na ang ma-declared as a winner. Now, in petition to disqualify, ang mahitabo kay different from deny due course. Murag vacated gid siya if siya ang kay valid man iyang candidacy. So valid ang butar sa mga tao niya. Just that um in in those na may ground siya nga dili di siya pwede makalingkod, mavacated ang seat. So, what will happen is that the rule of succession. When we say rule of succession, walay mahitabong mayor, si vice mayor, musaka. So, it will create in the case of local government units, let's say in your municipality, it will create a vacancy in the sanggunian. Okay, musaka man si ang vice mayor. Let's say ang mayor ang na-disqualify. Si vice mayor, musaka as a mayor, ang first kagawad musaka as vice mayor, and then nakuhaan na ang 8 kabuok kagawad. 'Di ba? So, the rule on vacancy na pod will apply. Kung saan na nga para mapuno ang sasanggol. Okay. So that is petition to for disqualification. The next is what if I think we were able to discuss some of this or we were able to discuss this instance wherein dili not quite sure ha kay nag-talk about po kog election, if we were able really to discuss it kay nag-talk po kog about election laws either basin niya pag poll watchers training ako na storya sa ano. Okay, so nevertheless, okay. The other one is other remedies under election law is calling it a failure of election or calling for a special election in case there is a failure of election. Okay, so there could be instances that a proper election, a peaceful election, is not done because of some circumstances. Let's say if acts of God, kanang grabe ang calamity siguro, ingon ana that could be a ground to kaning naay failure of election, like let's say no nga katong naay mga magubot kaayo nga uncontrolled yun, uncontrolled ang magrabe ang situation. What else? Yeah, kana mga acts of God. Okay. So, when it comes to postponement and failure of elections, ang kani pong mga ng mga magtrabaho sa during the election there, they have a continuity plan. So it is a list of contingency measures and the policies for activation of such that are put in place to ensure continuous operation of the automated election system. So, um, when will, just in case there is a failure of election, when um when will there be when will postponement of election happen? So elections may be postponed by the COMELEC. So si COMELEC ra gyud ang maka-postpone ng election. Okay, that's their main thrust or that's their mandate man. So COMELEC may postpone the conduct of election either motu proprio again or upon a verified petition by any interested party, and that those parties are afforded equal opportunity to be heard when there is a serious case of so violence, terrorism, loss or destruction of election paraphernalia, force majeure, and other analogous causes that will prevent the conduct of a peaceful, free, orderly elections. So, mauna siya ang mga sort of grounds. Diba, mentioned a while ago pa mga acts of God, force majeure, yun ana. So, petition to suspend proclamation and or annulment of results on the ground of failure of elections. So, take note nga, naayuban nga sa division pa ang desisyon. So, ang kaning ang maka-suspend ra gyud og proclamation sa isa ka candidate is a um kanang dapat COMELEC and bank gyud, no? There is a decision from the COMELEC and bank that kanang sitaw ana ma-annul gyud ang election results. So they have the original and exclusive jurisdiction um when it comes to failure of elections and annulment of election results. Okay? So take note, it should be the NBank ang kaning failure of elections o annulment of election returns. So it should not be the kaning COMELEC division. Okay. So again, when can we say that there is a failure of election? Kaning mga force majeure, violence, terrorism, fraud, kana mga ngana nga mga cases. Although this is not an exclusive list, kanaman tayo ginatawag nga other analogous causes. Fraud, pero nice nga naay other analogous causes kay we are already in the ano no kaning automated election na ano na phase. So murag basin ba for example kana ma-hack ang system or whatever. So pwede na siya sa analogous causes. Okay. Um in the allegations in kaning petition to declare failure of election, mahug nga ang scenario ani there wala the election in any polling place was not held on the fixed date. So meaning instead of May 11, wala sila nag nag-voting sa May 11. The election in any polling place had been suspended before the hour fixed by law for the closing of the voting. Kung na mga mahitabo, no? Okay. So these are some of the requisites under the kaning um under petition for kaning to declare a failure of election. First, katong mga no voting that took place, or if naay voting, the election resulted in a failure to elect. So maybe naay mga anomalya or kaning sana kanang daot sa system. That's why there wala na tarong og ihap na. Next is the vote not cast. So meaning in the case of the naay voting that took place pero wala, again wala ning the election resulted in a failure to elect, the votes not cast would have affected the election, the result of the election, and that the cause of such failure of election should have been caused by force majeure, violence, fraud, under analogous circumstances. Okay? So, mo to siya ang requisites. Take note that the grounds for failure of elections are questions of fact. So, dapat um, deal, it's, because it is a question of fact. So, when you try to, when you will become election lawyers in the future, imagine na siya ang i-allege, unya, it's up to the COMELEC to determine, no, if it's really a force majeure, is it really violence on their point of view, or is it terrorism in their point of view? Okay. What else? And this one. Mhm. Okay, special elections in case of postponement. So the commission shall, on the basis of a verified petition by any interested party and after due notice and hearing, call for the holding or continuation of the election not held, suspended, or which resulted in a failure to elect. So if in case there is a need for a special election because you postpone or naay katong failure of election, the election should not be later than 30 days after the cessation of the cause that caused the postponement or suspension. So for example, the reason of why there was postponement because na ay terrorism or force majeure. Nga, example, let's say, grabe kayo ang kanang acts of nature ato. So, if in case mas mahuman na, so after dapat delay later than 30 days when it is cease to exist to siya nga cause. It should be reasonably close to the date of the election not held or suspended. So, I think ang kanang shall not be later than 30 days, sort of reasonably, di naman na siya far no from the far from the kaning election date yun. I mean the original election. Okay. So last ground for not last ground. That is okay. The next remedy is pre-proclamation controversies. So, but I think uh wala namang good kayo ni mga pre-proclamation controversies, but okay, for scholarly kaning discussion. So, what are pre-proclamation controversies? So first is the illegal composition of the Board of Canvassers, illegal proceedings of the BOC. So these are some of kaning issues that covers in pre-proclamation controversies. So illegal composition of Board of Canvassers, okay, we will later on talk about what is the composition of a board of canvassers unsa ilang eligibility. So if in case they do not possess the qualifications, then appeal sila sa BOC, then of course that's illegal composition of the BOC. Illegal proceedings meaning um na ay mga anomalya. So maybe sa ilahang sa ilang proceedings, it could be that there was no sufficient notice to the members of the BOC in case nasa mga proceedings ang gibuhat, improper venue and everything. Okay. Pre-proc Pre-proclamation controversies generally prohibited for national and barangay offices. So that you should note that nga ang pre-proclamation does not apply to national and barangay elections. So it goes without saying that pre-proclamation is only allowed in local elective positions. Okay, but um kaning wala naman guning kaning unsa ni oy pre-proclamation controversies. Let me verify it. Okay, so I verified it. Ang pre-proclamation controversies kay ano since we're already in the automated election system, kaning more kay ang kaning good siya ang more of like illegal proceedings is kanang na yung mga discrepancies sa kanitang transmission of the election results. So take note ang pre-proclamation proceedings, it should be filed before the proclamation. If in case na proclaim na ang kanang winning candidate, then pre-proclamation of course is not anymore available to the interested party kay humana naman na proclaim na pre-proclamation gani. Okay? So, ang pre-proclamation controversy um in recent circular or kaning in recent resolutions by the COMELEC, it is already streamlined. Streamlined meaning dili na pareha sa unang mas daghan siya grounds. Because again, manual naman, not manual, kaning electronic naman gud ta. So, di ba, dali na kayo kanang, dali ra ba, ang agwat sa, ano no, sa pag-transmit and then pag-proclaim sa candidate. Okay? So, next is election contests. So, what is an election contest? I think we have um, discussed this briefly lang. It is an adversary proceeding by which matters involving title or claim or uh, to an elective office made before or after the proclamation of the winner is settled whether or not contestant is claiming office in dispute. So the nature of this proceeding is a summary in nature, but even if it's summary in nature, it is also having a political character. So, what is the purpose of having an election content? What is the purpose of having an election contest? It is to ascertain whether or not the candidate elected is the lawful choice of the public or of the electorate. You know? So, okay. What will happen if the winning candidate is already proclaimed? Di ba kato kung wala pa unsa may imuhang unsa yung pag-atake ba ang winning candidate nga para dili siya mahural. Sample, ang winning candidate wala pa na proclaim, it could be pre-proclamation nga controversy. Pero what if nahural na, unsa naman ang imuhang remedy? Na-proclaim naman. So, di na gito mo salar ang pre-proclamation. The only remedy left is election protest or co-warranto proceeding. So, that is, ang election protest is equivalent to co-warranto proceeding. Okay? So, co-warranto, in your remedial law, it is questioning the lawfulness of a person kaning in the seat, whether or not he is worthy of that seat vis-a-vis the kaning requirements of that seat, di ba? Na mga in your constitutional law, tung warranto proceeding sa mga katong Supreme Court judges, yun, Supreme Court justices, ana. So, um, di ba? Mahog nga, petition to the, ang first line of, if you are in the, if you are in the, kaning, ikaw ang mo file nga side, your first remedy to be in mind is the petition to deny due course of a COC or to cancel the COC. So that's your first line of defense. If ever ganahan kang kanang to ano ba, to kill your enemy. So that's petition to deny due course. If dili ma-file ang petition to deny due course in under section 78 with a 25 day period, if manggani nuisance candidate siya, pwede pa. So if in case dili jud pa mo to sa lartong nuisance candidate, na by ground for disqualification. If wala ground, so you cannot avail that. If when it comes to the qualification of ang i-question nimo is ang igo nimo is ang qualification of the candidate. If wala na tong if wala no naka file within a 25-day period, then see and mudaog to imong kalaban, the only thing left is your co-warranto proceeding. Pero malagi po, layo nang naabdan ba? Na-proclaim na good siya. Nakalingkod na siya. So, kanang, ito ni, um, murag, mas madugay if ever co-warranto ang imong ano, ang i-push. So, I think you already know who are the who has jurisdiction when it comes to election protest. So for president and the vice president, the body that has jurisdiction is the Supreme Court, sitting as the Presidential Electoral Tribunal. Acronym PET. For senators, it is the Senate, sitting as a Senate Electoral Tribunal. For district or party list representative, meaning ang mga congressman, ang HREP. If provincial or city officials, it is the COMELEC. Ang municipal official, RTC. If ang barangay or SK, it is the only barangay. The municipal trial court, and for Sangguniang Kabataan, it is the DILG. Okay? So, just in case these bodies have their decision. Okay, let's go first sa national level. Si HREP ug si SET. So, si SET is for the katong senators. If ang kaning election protest concerns with the senators, si HREP if the election protest concerning district representatives. So, if they have a decision and then ganahan ang aggrieved party ganahan mo appeal, their appeal should be through certiorari under Rule 65 to the Supreme Court. So HRET Supreme Court under dapat si Supreme Court ang appellate court through Rule 65. So for decisions of COMELEC, meaning those that are COMELEC is kaniman tong mga municipal officials, and not municipal officials, the RTC man na sila. Provincial and city officials. So if mo appeal, ang provincial or city officials, it should still be SC ang appellate court under Rule 65. Okay? But take note, ang kaning si decisions for COMELEC, election protest should be heard in the first instance by the COMELEC in division. So si if 'di ba ang mga municipal and city officials, if you file an election protest, it should be the COMELEC. O COMELEC ra may giingon, but sa COMELEC ang mo hear ana first is ang division. So let's say first division, COMELEC first division ning decide na si COMELEC first division. After that, if kanang sa ni oy dili favor nimo and you want to appellate, what you have to do is you will fire you will file an MR kay 'di ba given naman na siya nga kanang sa kaning administrative bodies ba kani rice constitutional commissions na tagaan sila og chance to kanang rectify their decision. So through MR from COMELEC First Division, it will go to the COMELEC N Bank. So if COMELEC N Bank na gani ang ni-decide na nasa decision ang COMELEC N Bank, but still it is kaning ay you're still aggrieved by that decision and you want to appellate it to SC na Rule 65. So that's the difference between um, provincial city officials o kaning sa mga senators HRET. Set o ang HRET dito sa SC Rule 65. If sa kaning sa mga municipal and city officials, so take note, provincial and city officials only. Okay, if municipal, it is not the COMELEC, it's the RTC. So, again, provincial meaning kaning mga governor, vice governor, board members. It does not include take note, it does not include the congressman. Kaya ang congressman belonging to the HRET, ha? Although like sort of in layman's baka hunahuna kag provincial, but they should be in the HRET. So kadto sila mo na provincial officials, city officials. So the officials nga nasa city, of course, mayor, vice mayor, kagawad, councilors. So again, COMELEC division, MR to COMELEC and bank, and then Supreme Court under Rule 65. So that's provincial and city officials. Now, how about for municipal officials? So, muna ng kanyang-kanyang sa itong mga kalungsuran. Ang election protest, i-file sa RTC. So, after RTC or MTC, ano, kay na may barangay, ang mga barangay nga officials kay sa MTC man. So, if that appropriate court has decisions, you will appeal that to COMELEC first. And then if COMELEC will have a decision, same rang gyapon ha, COMELEC division first, then COMELEC and bank. And then the COMELEC has the final and executory nga kaning decision when it comes to kaning sa mga election protests under RTC and under MTC. Question: COMELEC lang jud ba? Is there and would there be a circumstance wherein pwede pa masaka? So of course, under sa ato ang mga generic clause no nga if there is a blatant kaning grave abuse of discretion amounting to sani lack or excessive jurisdiction, then of course pwede siya punta sa Supreme Court for a special civil action of certiorari. Okay? So, muna siya when it comes to mga jurisdiction jurisdiction and appellate jurisdiction for election, yeah, contests. Okay. Ah, okay. Before, kanina before we will take a break. I will just pause na lang na I think dili yun makaya nga kanang ilahos na to no sa other. Kaya I have an appointment. Uh, I'm recording this 5 o'clock. So, na ako'y lakaw. So, ako i-pause. Okay, so election protest, by the way, um, it is filed by any candidate that who was voted in the same office, but maybe it could be, murag dapat naa siya sort of right sa office. Maybe siya ang second, third, highest number of votes. The grounds for an election protest is fraud, terrorism, irregularities, or illegal acts committed before, during, or after the casting of counting of votes. When should this be filed? 10 days from the proclamation of results. Okay? Um, ang kani siya, again, election protest mo to'y ground sa fraud, terrorism, irregularities, illegal acts. Kay naa man ni duha ka book kinds of election contests. So that is the first election protest, muna siya katong fraud, terrorism, irregularities. Ang si Ko Waranto, tikot nga si Ko Waranto, ang gi-attack ani niya is ang eligibility of a candidate or of a winning candidate to the office or disloyalty to the republic. Same time frame within 10 days from the proclamation of results. Okay? So, muna siya ang kalahian. Another difference is that ang co-waranto, ang election contest, it should be filed by katong si second, third, fourth, highest number of votes. Pero si co-waranto, pwede any registered voter. Okay. So I think that's it for your uh uh for the remedies. Yeah. So that's it for your remedies. I will be pausing this one, the recording, and however, when you will try to um listen to this or view this recording, um mag straight na siya. Basin niya malahi akong naong ba sa recording. Okay, so we're already done with the remedies under election law. Um, the next topics that I'm going to discuss is the Board of Election Inspectors and Watchers, the FTS or the Final Testing and Sealing, and the Board of Canvassers. So these are just maybe ibang ganit no sa katong mga students na to nga naa sa DepEd, more or less familiar mo ani, or even if you yourself volunteered as a poll watcher or experienced to be a poll watcher, kanang murag sort of nanamoy knowledge about this one. But then again, these are just good to the next topics will be just a good to know thing. Di gini sa ayo subject matter when it comes to bar. Okay. Take note ang ka short ra sa election law niya pagkahuman daghan biya kayong when you say political law daghan biya kayong pwede ig-on. Swerte more or less if bar purposes murag one question siguro ang election law. But then again, matakabalo no kay basin niya ang inyong examiner election lawyer or yeah, election lawyer. So na siya hard for election law. So yeah. So the next topics um will be those, and I'll just pause this recording.